Hello and welcome to Ipswich's Real Estate Podcast. I'm filling in today for Steve Athanades and I'm your host Matthew Taylor-Farrington from Purple Bunny Marketing. And today I'm joined by Steve from Stanford Financial. Jesus, I'm not off to a good start for this podcast. But anyways, I'm joined by Steve today and we're going to talk about the much anticipated latest RBA announcement. So Steve, what happened? I'm sure there's a few angry people today or upset people. What's going on?
Guarantee there is. I guess they are on hold again. I guess since the start of the year, they basically went cut, hold.
Yep.
So, it's... I guess the markets were at 100% chance of a rate cut today. So it's very disappointing from, every bank, every economist have pretty much predicted a rate cut today, particularly even all the way up leading to. So some of the data that's come out, which we'll go through in a second. But it was a shock to the system all the markets, there's a lot of, people out there sort of, banking on this rate cut. And it hasn't come through. So.
Yeah, and did they kind of elaborate as to why they didn't, drop? Because, as you said, it was kind of like everyone was everyone was confident that was going to happen. It was going to come off, but it hasn't happened.
I guess similar to what I said in the last podcast when I predicted that they're going to be on hold.
I didn't want to bring that up, but Steve didn't get it right.
So I got it right.
Yes.
I guess like I sort of said was essentially they weren't talking about direction. So literally all through the commentary, it's all about essentially when is the next rate cut.
Yep.
They just sort of said that they were waiting for the quarterly data, which is what I was saying because the May data that they get now, they're still waiting for the June data and the quarterly data. So the first quarter of this, calendar year, we saw inflation at 2.9%. Heading into the band of between 2 and 3%. We haven't seen another quarter yet. So what they've sort of said is we've had 2 rate cuts, so a half a basis point or 50 basis points down. Yep. We want to see where that sort of goes.
Yes. Okay. So they're watching. Was there any indication? Do you think that will be the next meeting? Because the next meeting's when? August
the 12th.
Yep. So do you think that will they have data in time by then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So do you think, based on what's happening in the market, they held that they'll possibly then want to drop?
We'll do prediction time at the end like we normally do. But I guess a couple of the things that they talked about is the tariff trade war. Ultimately, the last time we saw the Great Depression was a tariff trade war of a world scale.
Yes.
We're seeing, glimpses of potential for that. I don't think we have, I think the digitised economy nowadays, we will never see another Great Depression, but, what Trump does, nobody knows.
Yes.
I guess the America has announced that they're going to basically be finalising things on the 1st of August, so they're going to have the exact data, which is what probably made them hold, is... what implications that the Trump tariffs or America's tariffs are going to have. We deal a lot with China, and basically, at 135% tariff was what Trump sort of imposed on China at one stage. They weren't going to trade with each other. So, which means cost of goods go up, means cost of living goes up, which means inflation needs to remain. So I guess they're sort of holding to see what happens with that.
Yep, understandable. All right. So before we get on to anything else, what is your prediction then? What do you think is the outlook now heading into this back end of the year?
I'm sort of with a lot of the banks. Everyone's sort of predicting that, everyone was anticipating a rate cut today, but everyone's been talking that, there's going to be between, sort of 1 and 3 rate cuts before the end of the year. Yep. Essentially we've only got, sort of 6 months to go, and everyone's sort of predicting, probably 2-3 rate cuts. I'm 100% with that. I still think there would be at least 2. Everyone was talking, there was very minor gossip about a 50% basis point, so almost like a double rate cut. Yep. Everyone sort of in the meeting today afterwards was talking about, there was speak of a double rate cut. Do you think that'll now happen in August? Michelle Bullock never gives anything away. Very good poker player. Everything's up their sleeve. They'll check the data and make, judgment calls accordingly. Basically, the conversation was, we are cutting rates. There's no doubt about it. Rates are easing. They're going on the way down.
Yes.
But they have room to manoeuvre just in case something drastic does happen. And if they need to go down or they need to go up, they've got room to move.
Yep. Okay. So what are you forecasting next?
For August? I'm banking in a rate cut.
Okay. All right. I'm confident Steve, I'll say it on his behalf, I'm confident Steve's going to go. They didn't do it this time, so they'll definitely do it next time. Definitely. So I'm confident Steve will also want to lock in a cut as well. All right. And obviously, so we've had that, but we've also had a change now. We're in our new financial year. So is there anything new or anything that I guess our listeners should be across or know is available to them in the housing market?
A couple of things that sort of came in through in June was leading into the new financial year was they were stopping the first homeowners grant at $30,000, reducing it down to $15,000 as of the 1st of July.
Okay.
It's just recently gone. But they flipped on that and they actually extended the $30,000. So that is still in play. So as a first home buyer, if you're building or even buying off the plan, so a new home, you can still get as a first home buyer $30,000 from the government.
Yep.
Still with a price cap of $750,000 at this stage. Now, big thing that's coming into effect 1st of January 2026 is the first home guarantee scheme, where you only need 5% deposit or 2% as a single parent. You can now buy in Queensland up to $1 million. So the cap at the moment is only $700,000, which we're getting quite a lot of inquiry of at the moment. I know Steve likes to talk about when's a good time to buy, when's a good time to sell.
Yes.
We're seeing that sort of $800,000 to $900,000 price point starting to really ramp up and being in high competition because people are trying to buy those houses, because an $800,000 house now will probably push closer to that $1 million mark come the 1st of January, because that's how price points are at the moment. So anything sub 700 is first home buyer market. Anything over that's the normal home market. Now you've got up to $1 million as first home buyer market. So definitely sort of some competition going in for price rises. So.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Steve and I only spoke about it the other week with house prices and what's kind of happening in the market and what's happening with, especially in our market. We've got the Ripley Valley development. We've still got a lot of development in Springfield. There's a lot of growth, so it's only going to continue to send those prices up. Definitely. All right. And is there anything else for us, Steve?
That's probably the major points at this point in time. I was hoping to be wrong because I would like the rate cut today, but I'm going to be honest, I'm very much looking forward to the rate cut in August. So.
Yeah, agreed. I think everyone was banking on it today, so I think there'll be a few upset or disappointed people today. Anyways, all right. Well, thank you for joining us on the latest episode, Steve, to have a chat about the latest information from the RBA. And thank you for tuning in to the latest episode. Make sure to follow us on all of our socials.